Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs series with Dr. Vivek Rana. Topic for today's discussion is from international relations. There is a treaty which is dominating the headlines, so we'll be decoding what that treaty is all about, what are the signatories, what are the conditions for its ratification, and why currently it is in use. So let's decode TPNW, Treaty on Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons. So, as the name suggests, the treaty is aimed at limiting the nuclear weapons, prohibiting its use, and eventually it has an ambitious goal of eliminating nuclear weapons from the world. We all know the horrors of the use of nuclear weapons, and the Second World War has taught us important lesson when US has used the nuclear weapons against Japan at bombing, unfortunate bombing at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it had a long ramification. So, world has been an unsafe place since the proliferation of nuclear weapons is taking place. Yes, we have created a mechanism where there are limited nuclear powers, and we have already categorized them into responsible ones, but still it would be a lot better if such a mechanism comes into place where there is a global nuclear disarmament. So this treaty has its traction in the right spirit, even though there are some clauses which are not acceptable to the powerhouses. We all know the power dynamics at which the geopolitics operate. So first of all, just the free in this lecture we will discuss the pre-related important facts which can be asked in any examination which uses these themes. So first of all, the first things first, you should be aware what is the history of this treaty. When was it signed? So it is a new theme. It was signed in one of the UN conferences in 2017. So, in the signatory, currently there are 84 countries which have given their assent. Even though when this meeting was held, there were 122 countries which have given their go ahead that yes, they support this idea. Netherlands was one which was not too enthusiastic about it, and other were absentists. But currently, we can say there are 84 countries which are relating to this theme and have given their signatures. Coming to the ratification part, the ratification for any treaty to come into force, it needs some minimal legally binding signatures from the countries so that they make the laws in that direction. So they had specified a condition that at least 50 countries should ideally pass rules, or you could say laws on them. So finally, this is the reason why this treaty is in news today, because Honduras has become the 50th signatory to bind by this, and this is a legally binding treaty. So with the committal of Honduras, this treaty will take another 90 days to officially come into effect. So that date will translate to January 22 in 2021, because that's how the mechanism operates. It takes minimum of 90 days after the 50th signatory. So the way it is going, the more and more countries are going to ratify it, and hopefully we can see the light in which it is moving. So moving to the objective, as I have discussed in the introductory part, it aims at global elimination of nuclear weapons. So if we can sum up the objective, the treaty is aimed at limiting, you could say, the testing, development, production, stockpiling, transfer of technologies related to the nuclear weapon, and also the use of nuclear weapon against any country. So the objective, you could say, is in the right direction. Now the interesting part about this treaty is that all the nuclear weapon countries, the P5, USA, UK, Russia, China, France, are not even one country has given its assent to this treaty, and the other countries like India, Pakistan, Israel, which also have developed the nuclear weapon technology, have also not signed this treaty. They have their own different reasons, and broadly, but we can say that the treaty is aimed at limiting, because they all have their doubts in the mind. Say 2 or 3 countries give their committal that they will reduce their nuclear weapon, or say eliminate the nuclear weapon. The power dynamics is such that other countries may not agree to it, the other nuclear weapon power. So they have their own repercussion, and globally it's well accepted that no one wants to share the power which they have acquired over the years. So, and they have already put a pressure to all the countries, these 50 countries who have given their assent, to just change their stance, so the treaty could not come into force, because the way it is moving, even though this ramification of this 50 is not going to be major way affect any of these nuclear power states, because unless the country signs it, you cannot just impose sanctions, or it's just a shame. In a way, it's just a moral pressure which builds up to these countries. So make sure you can say that even the India stance is quite clear that it wants powerhouses to lead, and then there is no harm in going for the global nuclear disarmament. So you can follow this treaty, and the prelim related theme, the Honduras is the one which has made this treaty into a ratified form, and in January 20 you will once again see this treaty again in news, because that's the date when it officially comes into the picture. So you can say it's an important IR related event, and it once again regenerates the debate whether there should be a total nuclear disarmament for global peace. So I hope this session was useful in some way. Thank you very much.